Vasco's eyes brighten as he asks Daniel if it's true that he has 5 golden retrievers. Daniel nods but clarifies that they are with Jay now, not him, and they are not entirely purebred. They have some mixed breed in them. Vasco reassures him that he doesn't mind about the mix. Zach sits next to Daniel with his arm in a cast, enjoying being spoon-fed by his girlfriend, Mira. Vasco then shows Daniel a picture on his phone, revealing an adorable puppy on his home screen. He pleads with Daniel to let him see the puppies, while Jace, Vasco's close friend, wonders why Vasco has a dog of all things as his wallpaper. Daniel smiles but explains that their mother just gave birth and is still a bit sensitive, so Vasco can only be near them for now. Vasco feels let down but tries to stay positive. Suddenly, a voice from across the room interrupts. It's Taejun, known for his tall tales. He claims to have a golden retriever and invites Vasco to see it. However, Jace is doubtful and asks Taejun how big his dog is. Taejun replies that it's the size of a chihuahua. Jace turns to Vasco, telling him that Taejun is just making things up again. Alone, Taejun wishes he received the same attention as Vasco and his friends, feeling invisible unless he fabricates stories. Later that night, Taejun is in bed, scrolling through his phone. He watches a handsome guy role-playing as a boyfriend and feels frustrated that the guy can become a social media star just because of his looks. Taejun fumed as he thought, how is this guy a Facebook star? Those shirtless guys who rely on their looks for likes are the worst. Frustrated, he set up a stream to try and replicate their success, but without the looks or a following, no one tuned in. He glanced at popular streams and saw Daniel doing a boyfriend cosplay. If I were as handsome as him, I'd rule Facebook, he says to himself. Then, he stumbled upon another live stream featuring an unattractive man rubbing rice under his arms and then eating it. Taejun considered that since he wasn't good-looking, he could create similar content on his Facebook live stream. However, when he attempted the rice rubbing, he was met with hate comments accusing him of copying successful streamers. To lift his spirits, he checked out his attractive friends on Facebook. He admired a recent post from his favorite friend and commented on how stunning she looked. When he slid into her DMs, he noticed she hadn't replied to any of his messages. In her latest post, she had responded to someone named Daehoon. Curious, he clicked on his profile and saw 3 tough-looking guys with flashy cars. Daehoon had 300,000 followers and was only 18. As he scrolled through Daehoon's posts showcasing his wealth and jewelry, jealousy consumed Taejun. Daehoon seemed to attract all the beautiful women, while he struggled to get even one to notice him. Determined, Taejun devised a final plan to boost his followers on Facebook. He sets up his camera and starts to mock the gangster, hurling insults and playful jabs. You pathetic little whiner, with all those tattoos, did your mom suggest that? He continues for a few more minutes before stopping the video. Excited about his first post, he shares it on his account and rolls around in bed. 30 minutes pass and no one has viewed the video. Feeling down, he decides that if there are no likes or comments by morning, he will delete it. When Taejun wakes up, he checks his phone, expecting nothing new. He opens Facebook and his heart sinks. The video has received 70,000 likes and 10,000 comments. Now, Taejun has 10,000 followers. A huge grin spreads across his face as he realizes he's become a Facebook star. Meanwhile, we see Daehoon, the gangster, looking down at someone in just their underwear, bleeding. He hears his name being called by a friend who wants him to check something out. They watch Taejun's video together. Daehoon's anger is evident as he wonders what this ugly fool's problem is. The next day, Taejun is seen walking through the school hallway. As he passes by, his classmates begin to whisper about him. Hearing their chatter makes him blush, as he finally feels the attention he has longed for. Do approaches him in the corridor and mentions that he saw Taejun's viral video. He expresses his desire to collaborate on a video for Facebook, which makes Taejun blush again. Previously, Do would have ignored someone like him, but now he treats him as an equal. Do then goes to Daniel and asks if he wants to join in on a video, as he aims to expand his live streams beyond Paprika TV. He thinks to himself that Daniel's looks alone are worth a fortune. Daniel recalls the moment he first gained fame on Facebook, remembering the video where Zach beat him up when he switched schools. He used to see Zach as just a thug, but now he has become much kinder and calmer. However, Daniel is unsure about Do's personality outside of school. When Do pressures him to collaborate, Daniel asks for some time to consider it. Zach interrupts their conversation, politely requesting Do to lower his voice since he is trying to sleep. He challenges Zach, asking if he really needs to be quiet. Zach retorts, questioning if Do is trying to provoke him. Do says that he has spent a lot of money on Zach and believes that beggars should show respect. He thinks to himself that since Zach has a cast, he can't hit him. Crystal has been eavesdropping on the entire conversation and is contemplating whether to blacklist Do's ID, as it appears that fame has gone to his head. As a major shareholder of Paprika TV, she feels concerned. Meanwhile, Zach stands up after being insulted as a beggar, prompting Daniel to try to calm things down. He asks if they are no longer friends, but Do retorts that Zach never had friends. He merely uses those around him as slaves. Zach is taken aback by Do's harsh opinion. Your act of kindness is getting old, Zach. You're just a fighter, Do yells, as others push him away from Zach. The scene shifts to Taejun, who is reviewing his recent posts that aren't performing as well as his previous videos. He begins to panic, fearing he might lose the attention gained from his viral hit. To maintain his fan base, he decides to do something drastic and starts buzzing off all his hair. Next, we see Daehoon on his throne with his friends, who ask how he plans to handle a recent online star mocking him. Daehoon replies that he won't take any action because they are no longer children and can simply ignore it. He tells his friends that if they let every little thing upset them like they did in their youth, it would never end. The following day, Taejun approaches Do to see if he wants to film together. Do notices that Taejun seems stressed and losing hair, suggesting he might be losing viewers. He agrees to film, but only under one condition, smirking as he points a finger at Taejun. After school, the duo is seen streaming, with Daehoon's name painted in red behind them. The streaming session is going really well, and they begin to read the comments coming in. Taejun feels pleased to be in the spotlight again, but asks Do if they might be overdoing it, worried that Daehoon could retaliate if they continue creating this kind of content. Do reassures him, saying there's no need to worry. Daehoon is too busy to bother with them, he claims. Their videos are performing increasingly better, with the first one receiving 18,000 likes and the second one hitting 99,000. Soon after, they land their first sponsorship deal worth $1,000. Taejun reflects that he feels like a celebrity now and believes he has finally succeeded. Curious, he checks the comments on their latest video, but as he reads more, he starts to feel anxious. The comments reveal that Daehoon has responded to all of their videos. He visits Daehoon's profile and watches the pinned video, where Daehoon mentions that he has heard 2 people are mocking him. He names Taejun and Do, congratulating them for getting his attention. He warns them that he will be coming after them, and the camera zooms out to show his friends with their luxury cars. Daehoon declares he won't stop searching until he finds them, as someone in the comments has disclosed their identities and locations. Daehoon is live streaming their pursuit. He addresses the camera, mentioning that they are about to begin the search for Do and Taejun. They take a break to enjoy some fish cakes. Daehoon informs the viewers that they are traveling 100 miles to track down the 2 troublemakers. He expresses frustration, saying they are wasting time and money to find them, but assures that he will see them soon. Meanwhile, Taejun turns off his phone and starts to sweat nervously. Thinking about Daehoon's determination, Do, wrapped in a blanket, suggests making an apology video, but Taejun insists it's too late for that. Even an apology won't stop Daehoon from searching for them. They decide to stay put in their room. After a while, boredom strikes Taejun and he checks his DMs. To his surprise, his favorite friend on Facebook has replied. He excitedly shouts about receiving a message from a girl, which gets Do thrilled. His heart races as he struggles to figure out how to respond. Do takes the initiative and messages her, suggesting they meet up to get to know each other better, and adds that he will bring a friend along so he can come as well. Later in the day, they find themselves in a cafe when they hear someone calling their names. It's the girl they were chatting with, standing right in front of them. Meanwhile, we switch to Zach, who is being questioned by Daehoon's friends about whether he has seen someone named Do. Fearing he might be in trouble, Zach denies knowing him or having seen him before. He begins to walk away, but the 2 of them are upset by how casually Zach dismissed them. One of them prepares to slap Zach, but before he can get close, Zach delivers a swift kick to his jaw. Picking on someone with a cast? Now I'm in a bad mood, Zach remarks. Just as he finishes speaking, a baseball bat comes crashing down on him, striking his casts. You're quick if you can dodge that, Daehoon comments. Can you use your cast as a shield, or was that just instinct? Hai targets Zach's casts again, landing a hit on his elbow. Daehoon's friends watch as Zach endures the beating, unable to fathom the pain he must be feeling. Daehoon tells Zach he's a bit busy right now, so he'll have to come back later to finish him off. Zach wonders what Do did to provoke such dangerous people. He reflects on his past behavior earlier in the year, realizing he used to be just like Daehoon, picking fights over minor annoyances. Meanwhile, we return to Do and Taejun, where we finally see the woman who had been messaging Taejun. While her face looks the same, her shoulders are much broader, and she appears heavier than in her photos. Her friend, who is with her, also looks different from her online pictures. Do is frustrated by the deception and suggests they all head to the theme park. He tells Taejun to grab his motorcycle to pick them up. As they leave the shop, he quietly tells Taejun that they don't actually have a motorcycle. In the next scene, we see the two of them, out of breath and far from the cafe, having ditched their dates. But before they can fully recover, a car pulls up and a door swings open, knocking Do to the ground. Taejun is startled to see Daehoon and his gang, who are live streaming the entire encounter. Daehoon strikes Do in the face with his elbow and snatches Taejun's hat off, exposing his bald head to everyone watching the live stream. Some viewers contemplate calling the police, and Daehoon's friends urge them to do so, apologizing for the commotion. The crowd begins to question whether Do and Taejun did something to provoke the attack. The friend with a camera approaches Do, who is unconscious, and Daehoon slaps him to wake him up. An elderly woman interrupts, asking why they are causing such a disturbance in broad daylight. Daehoon removes his cap and bows to her in apology. The old lady assumes that Daehoon's confidence and kindness justify his actions against Do, as he must have done something to upset the kind and respectful man. The following day, the video of Daehoon attacking Do has gone viral on Facebook. Daniel hears rumors about Do, noting that he hasn't been to school since the incident. Zach recognizes the man in the video as the one who had attacked him with a baseball bat. I knew he would end up like this, acting so arrogant about being a popular streamer, Zach thinks. Another video appears on Daehoon's account, where he states that violence is wrong, but he draws the line at insults directed at his mother. He exhales smoke and mentions that Taejun escaped before they will catch him soon, so the search continues. As I promised, I won't go home until I find him. I'll be waiting for your tips, he declares. And with that, the video ends. We are now with Taejun, who is hiding away in a dark alleyway. He is coming to the realization that he has nowhere to escape to. He hears his name being called from the street. He shrieks in fear, expecting to see Daehoon, but it's just a couple who say that they've seen his videos on Facebook and would love a photo with him. Taejun blushes. He starts to think about all the people who know about the hunt and how many viewers he would get if he were to upload a video or photo of himself right now. He starts streaming and tells the camera, Daehoon will never be able to find him, not in a million years. The post is going crazy, and all the viewers are waiting for Daehoon to finally catch his prey. The final school bell rings, and Zach stands up. Daniel asks him if he is going to rescue Do from Daehoon. He suggests that they just call the police, but Zach tells him that that's not a good idea, as they will just give Daehoon a warning and then release him. Calling the cops won't change his behavior, says Zach. He thinks about all the mean words Do said to him a few days earlier and tells Daniel that he has a personal debt to pay to Daehoon Shin. I will save my slave while I'm at it, Zach says as he walks away. Daniel reflects on all the wrongs Do has done to him, but he knows he can't let Zach go alone. He recalls how much he and Zach have evolved over the months, and wonders if Do might be changing too. Meanwhile, we shift to the Burn Knuckles, who have chosen not to assist Taejun. Jace explains that he initiated the conflict, and it goes against their principles to help a member, regardless of their actions. He warns that a confrontation with Daehoon and his gang could escalate quickly. Vasco agrees with Jace but decides to take matters into his own hands, stating he will go alone. I just want to see a golden retriever, Vasco adds. Jace lets out a deep sigh, eyes closed. Now we focus on the man of the hour, who appears to be hiding in a warehouse. Daehoon and his crew enter after receiving a tip-off. They conduct a quick search but leave soon after, distracted by their hunger. Once the door closes, Taejun breathes a sigh of relief. He realizes that to truly escape Daehoon, he must leave the country. He pulls out his phone to book a ticket, but just as the light shines on his face, Daehoon steps out from the shadows. "Found you," he whispers, causing Taejun's heart to drop. "We are currently in the car with the group." Daehoon is speaking to the camera about their destination. He turns the camera to the back seat, where one of his friends playfully puts their foot in his face. Daehoon informs the viewers that their next video will feature them beating up the two imposters. Zack and Daniel arrive at the building. Taejun and Do are supposed to be in. Daniel questions how Zack knew they would be there, and Zack explains that the building was visible during their stream as they entered. Daniel starts to feel anxious about the possibility of facing real gangsters. Suddenly, Vasco appears. He tells them he's not there to assist them, as he has his own reasons for coming, and Daniel reflects that the situation feels oddly familiar. Zack asks Vasco why he came alone, and Vasco reassures him that he can reach out to Jace telepathically if needed. Inside the building, Do and Taejun are kneeling on the cold floor, almost naked. Daehoon tells the camera it's minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The three heroes peek over a ledge to see what's happening. Daehoon announces that everyone should choose a punishment for the two losers, and he'll return shortly. The video pauses, and he gives heat packs to Taejun and Do, complimenting Taejun on his performance and saying no one suspects anything yet. Some minutes go by, and they record another video. He informs them that they will be jumping from the third story, leaving Zack and Daniel in shock. Do and Taejun are visibly anxious, realizing they cannot safely attempt the jump without breaking a foot or leg. The heroes have revealed their presence. Daehoon recognizes Zack and inquires if he overheard everything. Zack ignores the question and asks Do why he is involved in the entire charade. Daehoon interrupts, stating that it is not Zack's business to ask those questions. He explains that initially it was genuine, but when he caught Do, he saw a significant increase in views and followers. Consequently, he decided to script the entire event, including Taejun's capture. Daehoon smirks, revealing his plan to sell his accounts for $150,000 once he is done sucking the whole beating up Taejun and Do scenario dry. He allowed Taejun to escape and instructed him to broadcast the escape so Daehoon could catch him and create a dramatic reveal. Vasco approaches Taejun and tells him that he started all of this, so he should apologize. If he does so, Vasco will ensure he leaves unharmed. Daehoon interrupts, stating that he will not let Taejun go until he has used him to gain more clicks and followers. Daehoon then turns to Taejun and asks if he really wants to listen to what Daehoon has to say. He reflects on his initial desire for attention, and as tears fall down his face, he screams that he just wanted attention. Vasco says, "Then let's go," but before he can leave, Daehoon blocks the exit, demanding to know where Vasco thinks he is going. Vasco tells Daehoon that he is a bad guy and needs to be beaten up. Daehoon responds by grabbing Vasco's shirt, and upon seeing Vasco's tattoos, he begins to wonder if he has confronted a real gangster by mistake. Vasco then demands that Daehoon let go. He begins to sweat, regretting his choices. Vasco tightly grips Daehoon's hand, squeezing it hard. He steps back and picks up his bat with his left hand, as his right arm is rendered useless from Vasco's strong grip. Daehoon challenges Vasco to come at him, but he declines, stating he doesn't want to fight, he just wants to take Taejun and leave. "You promised to show me a golden retriever, right? Let's go," Vasco says, glancing back at Taejun. Taejun's eyes widen as he realizes Vasco genuinely thinks he has a chihuahua-sized golden retriever. Daehoon tells Vasco that if he only came for Taejun, he can take him and go. "Take him and get lost, we'll film the rest with Do," he says, waving his bat in front of Vasco. He looks over at Zack, signaling it's his turn to step in. Zack tells Vasco to take Taejun and leave, as it's his moment to shine. Daehoon laughs at Zack, asking if he plans to use his broken arm as a shield again like last time, and if he's there to retrieve Do. He can't believe what he's hearing. Is Zack really here to save him after everything he's done? Zack clarifies to Daehoon that he's not there to save Do, he just wants to get back at him for what he did to his arms. Do looks down at the ground. Daehoon throws his bat down and tells his friend to start filming. Instead of recording Do, they will capture him beating up Zack. Zack warns him to pick up his bat before he regrets it. Daehoon mocks Zack while addressing the camera. "It looks like you're acting out because you're here to help your friend," he says. Daehoon notices Zach's stance and realizes he's a boxer. He thinks Zach might rely on his legs for kicks since he can't use his fists properly. Before Daehoon finishes his thought, Zach charges in and lands a powerful right hook right on Daehoon's face. We can hear the bones in Zach's arm breaking again. Everyone in the room is stunned that Zach threw a punch with his injured arm. Zach quickly follows up with a left punch, hitting Daehoon again. Standing over him, Zach tells Daehoon that he lost the fight the second he dropped his bat. He then grabs Doo's attention, draping his jacket over him and warning that he might catch a cold without proper clothes. "Let's go home," Zach says. Daehoon's friends consider calling for backup, but Vasco stops them with his famous grip of death, reminding them that the camera is still recording. Vasco picks up the camera and accidentally shows Daniel, who, unsure of what to say, explains that the entire story was fake all along, and thanks everyone for watching. It seems Vasco and Zach managed to rescue their friends without a scratch. The next day, Zach opens his mouth as Mira continues to feed him due to his broken arms. She asks him how much longer he has to keep his casts on, and Zach replies that he doesn't know. The doctor says, "I need more time," he says. He reflects that he was close to fully recovering until his first encounter with Daehoon, which has now delayed his recovery by a few more weeks. Meanwhile, Jiho checks his bag and realizes he forgot his gym clothes. His only friend going to the gym today is Duke, who wears much larger sizes. Hearing this, Do offers to lend Jiho his clothes since he plans to skip gym class anyway, as long as Jiho washes them afterward. The other guys in the class notice what Do is doing, and Zach can't help but smile. We then switch to Taejun, who is welcoming Vasco and Jace into his home. Jace is surprised to see a small golden retriever, about the size of a chihuahua, and he apologizes to Taejun for doubting him. He thinks to himself that Taejun looks much better since he stopped streaming on Facebook. In another scene, if you've been wondering where Jay has been, he is seen trying to get directions to the construction site. However, since he didn't speak, the elderly lady he approached didn't understand him. Jay spends the entire day searching for the site, but ultimately gives up at midnight.